Welcome to Muskegon Rotary. My name is Jenny Sprague, and I have the privilege of serving as the president for the 23-24 Rotary year. Today's program will be presented by the Braver Angels organization, and it's sponsored by our very own Rotary Peace Building Committee. We'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, an education and literacy moment, and a reflection from Marty Farabee. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go ahead, Mike. The video. Students.
A single act of good can go a long way. It can cross oceans, cure disease, and create equality. As members of Rotary, we are people of action, and our actions have the power to speak loud and clear. Our vision and commitment to finding solutions keeps us connected to those who need it most, changing lives and creating opportunities with our groundbreaking work in education and literacy. There are more kids enrolled in school now than at any other point in human history, which is why supporting teachers is key. In classrooms, our innovative approach creates critical thinkers and big dreamers with the skills to achieve. Our global grants train teachers to use materials, new methods, and technology to inspire and energize students of all ages. We believe education has the power to lift families up, make real change, modify behavior, create healthy habits, and open minds. We believe that education creates security and safety in families so they can support, provide, and make informed, empowered decisions. Your contribution keeps students far and wide connected to a world of good. Every donation is an action that speaks volumes across classrooms, communities, and continents. Because the distance between an act of good and the lives it touches isn't as vast as you might imagine. Learn how you can support the cause that means the most to you.
The video came from a Rotary Club that is working in Kenya with the students in the blue uniforms that you saw. And here's a quote from one of their members. "When you teach somebody how to read, they have that for a lifetime. It ripples through the community one by one." That's Mark Wilson, who was a Rotary Club member. It didn't specify which Rotary Club. So, Marty, are you ready for the reflection?
Can I move the mic up? There are a number of unexpected things we enjoy as Muskegonites. One that was counterintuitive to me when I first moved here is that many people immediately jump in the car and go to the beach when the wind is high, especially in November. Not exactly great beach weather. It sounds just nuts to a newcomer, but we go to see the big waves, sometimes the kite surfers, and we most often see other people we know. We don't talk to them because we're all huddled in our cars enjoying the waves, if not the blowing sand. But where else do natives flock to the beach when the weather is awful? Where else is bad weather a mini social occasion? Another thing we enjoy in Muskegon is how easy it is to get around town compared to traffic in other cities. We seldom have to wait too long to turn from Sherman to Seaway. When a hockey game and a symphony concert are letting out at the same time, traffic generally clears fairly quickly and we're soon home with maybe a 10-minute delay. The worst is after the fireworks, but city police officers are often there to keep things moving, and it's only once a year. We go to Grand Rapids and we wonder how those people can stand 28th Street or East Paris. This summer, however, we're finding the times that try men's souls, and women too. And I'm talking about construction. It's everywhere. I can't just go to Myers, I have to think about it. Road construction now requires us to plan how we move around town, and it requires us to take different routes. Road construction requires us to think, and it requires patience. I try to take a positive point of view. I'm glad this is happening because it will be easier afterwards to get around. This will be over by Halloween, maybe sooner. If I can live through 4 months of winter, I can live through 4 months of this. I'm a Michigan girl. I keep my snow brush in the car 12 months of the year. The results are going to be great. I'll be glad when the work is done. I think about the early settlers and their tales about the difficulties in moving around Muskegon because of the piles of stumps. We have it better. And it's about to get worse. This is better than it will be. But road construction still requires patience. I'll leave you with a couple of quotes about patience. Longfellow said, "All things come round to him who will but wait." Shakespeare, "How poor are they that have not patience? What wound ever did heal but by degree?" Virgil, "Superanda omnis fortuna furtando est," or "Every misfortune is to be subdued by patience." And finally, a short and familiar prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your lunch. We will resume in about 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Enjoy. Thank you. Welcome back to our meeting. At this time, we're going to do our visiting Rotarians and guests. If you can please come forward. And Jackie Fisher will, I think, is our stage manager. Oh, there you are. I couldn't find you. You were hiding behind the camera. And she will assist you. Don't be shy. Come on, people. Guests, you just have to smile and hit your mark. It's, not painful process.
Where's Irma?
Okay, this is my mark.
Kathy Brubaker Clark and Jenny McNeil are introducing our guest, Reverend Rob Cook from Central United Methodist. He is our pastor. And actually, in one of his sermons a few years ago, he first brought up Braver Angels, which kind of got this whole thing started, which we're having as our presentation today. And hopefully Rob is going to consider joining Rotary in the near future.
Okay, slide in. Hi, Marianne Gorman here, and I'm really happy to introduce a very good friend and former co-worker, Dee Queeshan.
Good afternoon. I am very pleased to introduce to you one of my close personal friends, mostly. He also happens to be the, well, mostly, definitely. But he also is the president of Talent First, the former Talent 2025, a 13-county business membership organization that has a goal of having top 20 workforce in the United States. Is there a new year, Kevin, that we've established? But that's the goal. Kevin Stotts.
All right, good afternoon. As a former politician, I have a couple hours worth of presentation here. So I am very honored this afternoon to introduce Irma Carney. How many people have ever been to the front porch over on Pine and Western and remember Irma? I know Mr. Alexander does. So Irma now is taking on a new position. She is now with Revolution Mortgage as a mortgage loan officer. And now that she's not doing front porch anymore, she's in her new venture. And she's always been told that Rotary is where you meet people and also networking. She'll be available afterwards, and I'm sure you could talk to her a little bit more about her new business venture. Okay.
Hi there, Pete DeBoer, with my colleague from the Community Foundation, Deanna Giles. Deanna is our scholarship coordinator at the Community Foundation and very interested in Rotary membership herself.
Good afternoon, Rotary. Marty Seitzma here. So pause a second. No, not yet, not yet. I'm not giving you the quarter for that. All right, do you feel a little bit extra excitement today? You should, because the Big Reds are in the house. To introduce two of the seniors is Chandra Sain. She is the counselor at the high school.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having us. I'm excited to be here, and I love this room. This is my first time here. So I'm excited to have two great young men with me, and I'm going to introduce them. Both are seniors at Muskegon High School. Both are great students, great athletes. The first student is Mr. Makai Guy, followed by, he's also my nephew too, followed by Jacob Price.
My name is Makai Guy. I am a senior. I am a top 10 student at Muskegon High School. I'm the quarterback and point guard for the varsity team. I am the president of the National Honor Society. I am the president of the Student Leadership Council, and I'm a part of the MHSAA Student Advisory Council. Oh, and next year, I am undecided from what school I'm going to choose, but I'm going to finish my football and academic career studying law to become an attorney.
Hello, my name is Jacob Price. I'm a senior at Muskegon High School. I'm the running back for the Muskegon Big Reds. I am a part of the National Honor Society. I'm a part of our school's Interact Club. I'm also a member. I'm also a member of the top 10 in our school. And next year, what I have planned on for college is go to Ferris to pursue my football career, and then after that, graduate and become a cardiovascular surgeon.
Thank you, and welcome to all our guests. We're delighted to have you here with us, and we hope you enjoy our program, which Kelly DeVos will come forward and introduce our speakers for today. Thank you, Kelly.
All right, good afternoon. So several years ago, Rotary DEI learned of Braver Angels, a citizens organization uniting red and, uniting red and blue Americans in a working alliance to depolarize America. DEI was interested in applying the module. As the committee delved into the topic further, we discovered that Rotary International had created a similar framework for Rotary chapters to use called Peace Builders Club. Thus, our own Peace Builders Committee was formed. Our committee has continued to learn more about Braver Angels, as often the Peace Builders Club and Braver Angels partners together to advance the message and action for peace and understanding. Today is International Peace Day. Last year on International Peace Day, our Peace Builders Committee sponsored a program in Rotary Park. For this year's International Peace Day, we are excited to bring you a program by Braver Angels, once again a national group helping to bring peace among the people of our own country. Today's Braver Angel speakers are Vince Boileau and Janet Rajewsko. Vince Boileau is a managing partner at Boileau & Company, a strategic communications firm in Holland. He and his team are passionate about purposeful community engagement and making positive change in the communities where they work. Vince has been involved with Braver Angels for 2 years as a participant and member of the state steering committee. He and his wife have 3 elementary kids and live in Zealand. Janet has been a member of Braver Angels for over 3 years. She is a Braver Angels moderator, participant manager and organizer, and a member of the state steering committee. Janet worked in the consulting and training industry for over 30 years, working with automotive, financial, and other clients as a senior project manager and instructional design consultant. She has worked with international clients located around the globe and was the managing director for China operations for her firm. She has a master's in education and educational specialist in instructional technology. Please help me welcome both Vincent and Janet.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm really pleased and grateful. I can speak for both of us to say that we're really grateful to be here today. I was up over the weekend for the Irish Festival, and I discovered a Guinness donut. Did anyone else try this? God bless this town. Anyway, we're really thankful to be able to present about Braver Angels today. And Braver Angels produced a video a couple years ago, so it's a little dated. It's about the name change from Better Angels to Braver Angels a bit, but it does a really great job setting the tone and the ethos for the organization. So we're going to start by showing you that.
Politics has always been a passionate subject, and we've always had deep political disagreements. That's the way it's supposed to be. But we've gotten to the point where people can't even talk to one another. Americans no longer see their political opponents as simply wrong or misguided. They see them as bad people whose ways of thinking are dangerous and incomprehensible. They see them as enemies. This level of rancor and mistrust threatens our democracy, and it makes it harder for us to move forward as a nation, regardless of who the president is.
The fact that we live in what feels like, some people call it a cold civil war, that takes a toll on all of us.
We've been excommunicated from a lot of our friends in the last couple of years, and it makes me sad.
This is one organization that's doing a lot to kind of overcome that and get people back to where we were, which is neighbors, friends, communities.
Better Angels was born in response to the crisis of polarization. We are truly bipartisan. From our staff to our funding to our board of directors, we're evenly split, half conservative, half liberal. Everything we do comes from the bottom up. We're an almost entirely volunteer-led operation. We wanted to see, could we get together a group of folks who voted for Trump and a group of folks who voted for Clinton and get them in a room together to see how can we bring people together to not get them to agree or to come to the middle, but to maybe change how they think about one another.
You know, it's funny. I think a lot of people would look at 2020 and argue that this is the least hospitable time for the work that we're doing because we know that our politics has a tendency to bring out the worst in us. But it also is an extraordinary opportunity because this deeper project of civic renewal, of healing the relationships that exist between the American people across the cultural and political divides, the importance of this project is going to become clearer and clearer to people over the course of this election.
A lot of people are going to have to let off steam. I really believe that it's better to do it in a productive way, where they see each other as fellow human beings. It inspires me. Every Better Angels debate I take part in.
When you're there in person and you have to face the person you're talking to, we remember suddenly the rules of civil discourse and kind of how we should act in society. It's something that really distinguishes this form of conversation and debate.
It's all well and good to talk about civility and being nice to people, but the missing ingredient is courage.
In 2020, we also need courage. The courage that it takes to have a difficult conversation, to put yourself out there.
What we've been saying is that this year, it's not enough to call in our better angels. We have to call in our braver angels.
The name Braver Angels captures the evolving spirit of Better Angels. We have to be willing to summon the courage to see the best in the other side, to see the best in our fellow Americans.
Courage means becoming a leader in your own community who's standing up for America, not just for your political party or your tribe or folks with whom you share an identity, but standing up for something larger that we can all believe in. If we can create a large enough movement that is clamoring for a more courageous style of politics, we can change the incentives.
That's something that can only be achieved through what we call patriotic empathy, this idea that your love for your country is demonstrated in your love for your fellow American. As Braver Angels, we're able to lean into that with courage and boldness.
It will make you feel like we can serve this place and our country can serve humanity in a way that is actually beautiful and actually does us justice.
This is not a left-wing movement, this is not a right-wing movement, but it is indeed an American movement. We still have it in us to be champions for what is right and what is graceful and what is decent here in the United States.
In this time of public health crisis, Braver Angels is taking its work online, hosting weekly online debates, virtual book discussions, concerts, skills training courses, and soon, one-on-one red-blue conversations. As Americans stay home to protect their fellow citizens, Braver Angels is bringing us together in new ways and helping us find the courage needed to transcend our partisan differences and overcome this challenge. Go to braverangels.org, sign up to join our email list, and at the end of the day, try to treat each other with respect, empathy, and find the courage needed to talk to people, even if, and perhaps especially when, you don't agree with them.
Thank you. So today I'd like to talk about, or I'd like for us to talk about three things. I'd like to start by defining the problem a bit. And then I want to say what Braver Angels is doing about it. And then at the end, I'd like to invite you guys to join with us in whatever form that might take for you. But first, I want to start with this quote. Abraham Lincoln said this, and it's one of his lesser known quotes. "I don't like that man. I must get to know him." Now, isn't that a refreshing way of thinking about people that we disagree with? Isn't that a change? Can we imagine a world where that's our instinct when we meet somebody that we disagree with? And for some of us it is, but increasingly these days, it's not. So I want to talk about something called affective polarization. So there's polarization, the pushing out toward poles. Having political opinions, we need to have political opinions. We need to disagree. It's through the disagreement that we can come up with compromise and better ideas that strengthen our nation. But affective polarization is a little bit different. It relates to our emotions, it relates to our attitudes, and it relates to the posture that we hold for one another. Here's a spectrum, a graphic that Braver Angels puts together. On the left, we have kind of the bad end, and on the right, we have kind of the good end. And we can see when you think about the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis, or maybe people that you disagree with, or ideas that you've come across, you maybe thought some of these things in your head. Maybe you said some of them out loud to yourselves or to others. And this gives us an idea. Braver Angels is all about trying to move people over to the right, but it seems that our country seems to be going more and more to the left. It's an uphill battle, and it's one that we're looking to fight. Here's another chart. Note how this terminates at 2016. On the left, this is the number of Republicans, or the percentage of Republicans that agree with the statement, Democrats are very unfavorable. At 91% in 2016? Really? Really? 91%? They're very unfavorable. It's incredible. And Democrats aren't much better, on the other hand, 86%. And this was in 2016, at the height of this polarization. It's continued. There was a spike during an election year. We're coming into another election year. And so the work of engaging with one another could not be more important. This is one of the things that pulled me in. As a business owner in the Holland area, I started noticing more and more that these types of feelings started showing up in the business world as well. It's like, man, we're supposed to be, focused on getting things done and having great relationships with our customers, and then all of a sudden politics starts inserting itself into the situation. And I turned to blame technology because that's some of my background. As a marketer, I interact a lot with social media. And I became a follower of an influencer, a guy named Tristan Harris, who made the Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma. Just by show of hands, who's seen The Social Dilemma? We've got a few people. If you haven't, it's worth checking out. It talks about how technology is placing in front of us more and more incendiary posts, because outrage is the most predictable form of engagement, and engagement is what keeps us on Facebook and on Instagram and TikTok so that we can see advertisement. And this is my business. I sell Facebook ads. I polarize America because I'm trying to help clients sell what I think are pretty good products. And so it got me thinking, I got to get involved. How do I start to engage with this? And on Tristan's podcast, I listened to a man named John Woods Jr., who's a national ambassador for Braver Angels. He was in the video as well. And he really started to get me interested in the organization. And so when I first tried to get involved, all I wanted to do was give Braver Angels money. And Braver Angels, being a grassroots organization at the time, this is a couple of years ago, they actually couldn't figure out how to take my money. They could take a credit card, but they didn't have like corporate sponsorship deals. And so I kept getting passed around. And then eventually I found my way onto the steering committee, and they're like, why don't you just join us? You seem like you have some good ideas. And so that's how I got pulled into the organization. Anyway, affective polarization. That's part of the problem. One more slide on that. This is the percentage of Americans as of 2022 who trust the government to do, quote, quote, do what is right. Affective polarization is undercutting our democracy. This is an existential threat. Braver Angels sees this as an existential threat. They talked about in the video how it is a political Cold War, if you will. Well, we believe that. And when we start to run into things like election integrity getting called into question every single time, we know we've got some problems. And so we know we've got some work to do. And so this is where Braver Angels comes over. So I'm going to turn it over to Jan to talk about what the organization does, our mission, and what some of our activities are doing. Jan?
All right, I got to bring this down. All right. First, I'd like to start off telling you a little bit of how I got to Braver Angels. And it happened around the dinner table. Maybe this happened to you in the last few years. We're there at the holiday dinner, the kids are all there, and a political discussion starts. And suddenly, the voices are ramping up, it's getting more and more stressful, and we can't talk to one another. And I was so shocked at how quickly this dinner became a battleground. And I looked around at the 8 beautiful faces of my grandchildren who were very, very distraught. And I thought to myself, I have to do something about this. And so I went out and did some research, and I found Braver Angels and joined. And that is why I am here today. And I'm sure that many of you probably have family or friends that you also want to see be able to live in a peaceful democracy. So Braver Angels brings Americans together to bridge the partisan divide and strengthen our democratic republic. Now, whoops, I got to get my clicker. But the good news is that studies show that people have a lot more in common than we know. And I can really testify to that because I do lots of workshops, and at the end of them, without a doubt, people always say, well, I didn't know what to expect, I was worried, I didn't know if I could be able to talk with those people, and I found that we had a lot in common, and I really enjoyed talking with them and learning more. So our work, we try to understand the other side's point of view. Notice I did not say change their view, which is probably a critical aspect of Braver Angels. We are not trying to change viewpoints, but we are trying to understand them, and we engage those we disagree with, looking for common ground, and we listen, because oftentimes when we listen and we ask why people have the viewpoints they do, we learn more about their experiences and we come to understand them. So our day-to-day work is so varied, it's amazing. Our kind of core workshop is the Red-Blue workshop. We bring together about 7 red and 7 blue individuals, and we conduct the workshop, and it's about looking at what we share together and listening to those viewpoints versus debating or trying to convince someone of our point of view. And this is always a real experience where people at the end often begin to form relationships with people from the other side. So the other becomes known to us, and now it brings about a change in how we view them. The other workshop that I want to talk about briefly is Depolarizing Within. This workshop is really helpful to help individuals learn the skills to work with individuals that have the same viewpoint, but are maybe a little more on the farther end and perhaps a little more volatile. And so we teach the skills of how to talk to those that we agree with, because sometimes we don't totally support everything they're saying. And we look for common ground as well. So depolarizing within, in fact, last night we did a workshop that I was a part of with the University of Arkansas. It was great to see college people participating. And we have an initiative on college campuses to try and encourage their participation, because they are the citizens of, tomorrow. We have debates, which they're a little bit different than probably the debate that you think of. Our debates take an issue and make a statement about it, and then we have individuals who present their viewpoint around that statement. And after they present, we then have people may ask questions of curiosity, no shooting the other side, no arrows are allowed in the room, and surprisingly, it begins to open the door to understanding how other people see the issue and helps us find common ground. There are also e-courses if you feel that that would work for you. One-to-one conversations where you can pair up with someone from the other side and have a one-on-one conversation to learn more. And there's lots more opportunities if you go to our website. So the day-to-day work is telling the story. Vince and I are here telling the story. We're ambassadors. We give presentations. We tell the story of how Braver Angels was founded and what we have to offer. Braver Campuses is an opportunity to encourage the work of Braver Angel on campuses. So I was really glad to hear the gentlemen who are seniors, because I'd say, hey, raise your hand, because we'd love to be working with you at the college that you attend. We also have Braver Citizens, which is aimed at our folks that probably most of us would classify maybe as working people, day-to-day people, average people in the streets. And they formed this because they felt that they had a need to talk with people from similar backgrounds. And Braver Politics, which is an extremely important initiative for us. And this is working with the legislature and their staff to bring the Braver Angels message to them and teach them the skills so that they can bridge the divide. So the results, we have an 87% gain in significant understanding, and 85% of our participants feel less estranged or angry, and 91% see areas of commonality. So you can join in by going to our state website, which Vince developed, and it's gorgeous, so go there, please, and the national organization, where you will see a listing of all these opportunities. So I want to leave you with one comment. As I look out and see your faces, I stood on the Battle of Gettysburg in July. I looked out over that battlefield. I knew how many people died to bring about a united country. And I don't want to see that divide happen again. So I ask all of you the same question that many of our workshops ask, and that is, what are you willing to do to bring about bridging the divide? Thank you. So, questions? Yes.
Any initiatives underway relative to the Ottawa impact situation?
Oh, to the Ottawa impact situation. So are folks here generally familiar with Ottawa impact?
Why don't you explain it?
Just as a brief explanation, there's a group of folks that got in at the county commission level through an election. They rallied, they got their word out there, they paid big bucks on yard signs, and they brought they're bringing a fairly far right and conservative approach to governance at the county level. And they have a majority at the commission, and so we're starting to see more and more activity going on along those lines. The journalists at the Sentinel and others have done a really good job covering it, so it's actually pretty easy to now see with a higher level of transparency what it is that's unfolding there. To answer your question though about what is Braver Angels doing, so far nothing. But I would love to, if I could get some people at the table. I'm guessing that Ottawa Impact would not show up at the table for that particular one. But there are members of our community that are divided about some of the issues, really important ones, things like parents' rights in schools. Those kinds of conversations, those unfold in these workshops, and they unfold very respectfully, and they create a lot of understanding on both sides. And so that one in particular, I would really enjoy having one. And if I get enough interest, we'll put one on. So let me know.
I just want to add.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I would just add a comment to that. One of the workshops that we do very often is called Common Ground, and it addresses specific issues that individuals bring to the table. And what we do in that workshop is we look at values, concerns, and solutions to the issues that the group has identified. And we work through those. And at the end of the workshops, usually, without a doubt, many people say, you know, I realized we have a lot of the same beliefs, belief in America, safety, rights. And we might disagree on how to go about those, but Common Ground workshops are a way to address specific issues. So that might be an option for you.
Let me be a little bit extreme, but maybe you can help us with this. Either you could hear that the only good Democrat is a dead one, the only good Republican is a dead one, or all the Republicans are fascists, all the Democrats are communists. When you deal with people, and I'm taking extremes, but I'd ask you to take maybe an issue that I gave you extremes with, but maybe not so extreme, and that how do you specifically deal with taking any issue you want to, and how to get people to perhaps see the other side, or to at least not be react in a very negative way.
Well, I would say that often, remember, we are not trying to change people's views, but I would begin by asking them what experiences they've had that have led them to those beliefs. And doing it in a calm way ratchets down the discussion. Now, sometimes you cannot make progress, and we have to recognize that. And sometimes we have to just say, maybe we can talk about this later. I really believe over time, if you form a relationship with the person and you spend time and they see your values and they see that you accept them and listen to them, that you'll be able to have discussions around topics that, as soon as somebody says, some of those words, I start going, whoa, this is going to be, a tough conversation. But we said we're Braver Angels, so we're going to tackle it. Sometimes we have to walk away. That does happen.
There's a term I've run across several times. It seems to be a little bit less volatile than some of the rhetoric that's going out, the hatred, and it's called the tyranny of the majority. Our democratic process is set up for voting. So in reality, 50% plus one rules the day. How does this sort of terminology thinking fit into your programming?
You want me to take that? So one thing about our organization is the leadership is balanced between red and blue. The other thing is that when we have the situation of people who, want to understand that, how come one person could change an election? We have been doing a lot of research on establishing fair elections, but that certainly can be a topic of debate where we can bring forth viewpoints. Our committee working on fair elections is generating a report to go to the federal legislative body about what people, you and I, believe about conducting fair elections. So that might be another way to access your representatives and bring support to issues. And I think I'm out of time.
In addition to bringing together red and blue for discussion, does Braver Angels also take into account individuals from different socioeconomic backgrounds to also engage in those red and blue conversations?
Do you remember what it's called?
Pardon? Go ahead. You want to do it?
No, go ahead.
Yes, we do. And I think that that was something that we recognized, and that was how Braver Citizens came about. But we really try to balance, and that is an important thing in our membership. We really seek out people to balance the makeup of our organization. And the leadership is divided. They have, for every red, there is a blue. At the grassroots level, sometimes there might be, a difference there. But we are seeking out individuals, of different ethnic backgrounds, different beliefs, different economic class. So we welcome everyone, and no one is, treated any different. Everyone is entitled to their viewpoint, and we respect their opinions. Thank you very much.
Could I sneak in one more? What do you recommend for our club? I don't want to presuppose what our committee might suggest in the future, but you've talked to Rotary clubs before. Yeah. And this is a large club with diverse talents and interests. What would you recommend?
Well, I think that probably one that is very helpful is Depolarizing Within, because it looks at my own viewpoints and where I'm kind of, seeing things and casting maybe a negative viewpoint on the other. And it also helps you to talk with people within your own group, whatever that group might be, because you're going to see such a wide variety of viewpoints, and you may need to work with them to understand their views. So I think Depolarizing Within is a good workshop. Family and Politics is another one to help individuals, address the issues around their families and how, the polarization has affected them. I will say this, the skills that you learn in any workshop can apply to any conversation. So no matter which one you select, you'll be able to take those and use them elsewhere. So good luck. I want to come and see your workshop. Get your papers here. Yes. Here we go.
If I could just thank on behalf of the club, we really appreciate your excellent, thoughtful presentation today. And as an expression of our thanks for your presentation, Muskegon Rotary will contribute to Hand Wash. Hand Wash is a cooperative initiative between Terra Nueva and Haiti and Champion Rotary District 6290 to provide clean water, sanitation, and hygiene in rural areas of Haiti. Our speakers have volunteered to stay for a little bit afterwards if you have other questions. And again, thank you for a great presentation. We appreciate it. It is time to celebrate some birthdays. Adam Bell has a birthday on September 22nd. Shanda Craig, September 23rd, Stacy Gomez, September 23rd, and John Noling, September 24th. So don't forget, how we honor your birthday by asking for a $10 contribution to the Caring Committee, and we appreciate it. Thank you and happy birthday. We are ready for our member spotlight. Today's featured person is Sarah Rinsema-Siebenga. Sort of got it.
My name is Sarah Rinsema-Siebenga. I am married to Dan Rinsema-Siebenga. Sometimes people get a little tongue-tied with our last name. I've been a Rotary member since 2016, off and on. I was recruited initially by Annette Jack, so thank you, Annette. I took a little break from Rotary between serving as Director of Community and Compass and in my new role with Muskegon Area District Library as the Program Manager. So I get to work with librarians in 12 communities across the county, just kind of, coming up with creative ideas and programming that really educates and even uplifts the best parts of those communities. When I made the change from Community and Compass to Metal, there was a lot of people who were like really surprised. And what I found is really there is not that much difference between the two organizations. Really, they're just kind of different platforms for me to do what I love to do, which is building communities, building strong communities. I think one of the things that struck me this time around in kind of experiencing Rotary is the global reach of Rotary. And, there's how so much cultural exchange happens for Muskegon because of Rotary. So Muskegon doesn't really have the benefit of being like an international community just by virtue of its size. And it's not like other cities near us where, there's a significant population of like immigrants or refugees. But I really feel like Rotary is helping to diversify our experiences through these student exchange programs. And I'm just really grateful for that. And also really interested to learn more about it and maybe get involved.
Thank you, Sarah. There are no inductions today, but we do have a Paul Harris Fellow presentation. Meredith? Very back of the room, so give her a minute.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Periodically, Muskegon Rotary likes to honor our individuals with Paul Harris Plus awards. So we have long recognized these Rotarians as being contributors to the Rotary Foundation, the arm of Rotary International, which receives and disperses funds that support our cause of increasing world understanding and peace. However, becoming a Paul Harris Fellow is a milestone. It is not your final destination. So we often recognize those who become multiple Paul Harris Fellows due to their continuing support of the Rotary Foundation. And they continue to support the foundation by contributing $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation each year. So with the additional $1,000 donated, a Paul Harris Fellow is presented with a pin with either a sapphire or a ruby, including the total level of their contributions. Our club currently has 39 members who are multiple Paul Harris Fellows. Today, we are privileged to recognize one of our club members for their continuing support of the Rotary Foundation. And I'm sorry, Mark Myers, I lied to you, but you are being honored today as a multiple Paul Harris Fellow in special appreciation for your continuing support of the work of the Rotary Foundation and the many ways in which your life exemplifies the humanitarian and educational objectives of the Rotary Foundation. Therefore, on the behalf of the President of Rotary International, Gordon McAnally, and the Chairman of the Trustees of the Rotary Foundation, Barry Rassin, I am pleased to recognize Mark Myers as a Paul Harris Fellow recipient +1. Come on up, Mark. Accept our congratulations and sincere appreciation for your commitment to our shared world understanding and peace goals. Rotarians and friends, join me one more time in recognizing and congratulating Mark as a Paul Harris Fellow Multiple.
There you go. I figured we could do this before we took off.
I appreciate it.
Oh, you want to say something? You can just say thanks if you want. That's okay.
No long speeches. This is a total surprise and shock, but
Hey.
I'll take this opportunity to say farewell, not goodbye, to my Rotary friends. Most of you, or some of you, may know that I'm moving on to a new position in Holland. I'll be retiring from the city of Norton Shores, as well as from this club, and joining the Holland Club. So it's been such a great pleasure. I've been in the club for about 19 years, and can't say enough good about this community, and all you folks are just wonderful folks. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. That's okay. I just say thank you, Mark, for all you've done for Muskegon Rotary. We greatly appreciate it, and we get to send you off with some bling for you to show off in Holland. Thank you. It is time for announcements, and I'm going to start out with something a little different. This is called Muskegon Rotarians in the News. We used to give people fines for this, but we're not going to do that. We're going to honor people. Mark Myers, again, was featured in an article about his retirement as city manager of Norton Shores that appeared in the Muskegon Chronicle on Thursday, September 14th, and it was earlier on MLive. The USS Silversides presented Gary Nealon with the Mark Frizzackerly Periscope Award. And that was published on Facebook on Friday, September 8th. Congratulations, Gary, for that recognition. And then one that I discovered while I was reading my Wall Street Journal, there was a letter to the editor from Scott Timmer, which is kind of a big deal. And it was on a response to a book review about colonialism, a moral reckoning. And that was published on Friday, September 8th. So we appreciate our well-read and well-published Rotarians. Thank you. Muskegon Rewind meets tonight at 5:15 at Walker's in the Delta. And just a plea, and it actually came today from our greeters. We need a photo of you. A JPEG would be preferred on your club runner profile that appears in our directory. So when they miss you at the check-in, they can flip through the directory and go, oh, that's who that was. So we do want your photos, so please do that. And now we have a special video for you. And Jim Fisher will tell you a little more.
Five weeks from tonight. Roger Morgenstern and Dave Alexander, our two co-chairs, came to us early in the summer to tell us about Harvest Fest. The summer goes fast here. Weeks and months run by, and all of a sudden, we're almost here. This is a really great event. It's a brand new event. It's been 5 years since many of you attended Grape Escape. There was a pandemic in between. We have a brand new event. It's Oktoberfest. It's being held at the Culinary Institute of Baker College. Aaron Mikey is here today. He's given a great gift to our club to be able to provide the venue as well as the food that will be there. It's an opportunity for a terrific fundraiser for us to replace the fundraiser that Grape Escape was for us. Here's my challenge and my pitch to all of you today. We really need many more of us to sign up to attend Oktoberfest. This is an event for our club, and it's a wonderful opportunity, and I really would appreciate if you will look on your tables. There is a poster that I hope you will either take with you or Carla Flanders, where are you? Please stand up in the back. Carla will have posters at the door that you can either take yourself or preferably post it at your locations around town so that we can market our tickets. It's very, very important. There are opportunities for sponsorships as well. It's pretty simple. There is the code on here and also MuskegonRotary.org where you can buy your tickets. But it's important for all of us. I hope you'll attend. It's going to be a wonderful event. Bring someone with you and also ask others to participate. So Carla will have the posters for you at the door. Carla, anything else? But either way, sign up and get your tickets. We hope we'll all see each other there. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And, you know, we could take attendance, just saying, you know. Anyway, please come out and support this great event, and we know you're going to have a good time. We're ready for your favorite time in the meeting. It is the raffle. Steve, are we ready? And what are we drawing for first? Oh, yes. I'll do it right after this. $5. 026. Oh, Mary Beth, congratulations. $014. Is this for 10? $10. Oh, Arn, lucky winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. $894 for $20. Pan Babbitt, we're going to have to sit with you. You've won a couple times here. So we missed an announcement, which Meredith will give you right now.
I'll make it quick. Periodically, Ginny and now myself hold Brave Rotarian contests to encourage you to contribute to the Rotary Foundation. So each participant of the Brave Rotarian contest contributes $100 to the Rotary Foundation, and winners receive a Paul Harris Fellow Award for themselves or a gift to another deserving individual. So we're going to kick this off on October 26th because October 24 is World Polio Day. And so if you would like to participate in this year's contest, in the rim will be my email address, and you can go ahead and email me that you would like to participate, and I will take your money, and we will kick off the competition on Thursday, October 26th. I have a theme, but I'm not quite ready to tell Ginny about it yet.
I don't know if I like this, but okay. Anyway, that would be a great way to get a Paul Harris for yourself or as a gift for someone else. So thank you for helping us observe World International Peace Day. We appreciate that. And if everyone would rise, we'll say the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be will and better friendships? Will it be all concerned? And also forgot, I'm out of step here. Next week's program is Taking Back Muskegon, Inc. Intriguing. Go out, create some hope in the world, and have a great week. We are adjourned.